skids! I've got the day off work, it's a Friday, and we're going to the warehouse. I've got my keys in here. Sure. And we're going to the warehouse to frolic about with the A-frame. Maybe we'll start frolicking about and decide to do something completely different, but we'll see how we go. I forgot my keys. Looks like day's off to a fantastic start, but now we're off to the warehouse. Okay, so my little ritual this week, actually, I didn't get a coffee. I'll just have my own coffee here. I feel like it's actually better for me having coffee out of my own mug here because this collects metal shavings, bog, and whatever else that floats its way into this mug. And it just helps my immune system. So I'm really just having a bit of an immune boosting coffee by having the old workshop coffee. Okay, so like I said, been frolicking about with A-frame, getting all that done this week, and just cutting away more and more rust. I've done the left-hand side A-frame, the A-pillar, sorry. Coffee's ready. So, I've done the left-hand side A-pillar, the passenger A-pillar. The driver's side A-pillar wasn't that bad. It didn't seem so bad, so I thought I'd just give that a crack this week. And it was actually a lot better. I haven't taken it completely apart and had to remake the whole bloody thing. But as you'll see, there was still quite a bit of rust. And underneath the paint, I just was like, hey, that paint looks pretty funny. I'll get rid of that. And there was more bog underneath it. And underneath that bog was actually nothing. It's just rusted metal. It vanished. And they just bogged over it. So, I had to keep cutting, keep adding metal and subtracting metal and adding metal and subtracting metal, and I've pretty much done the driver's side A-pillar, and the plenum is almost ready to go back on, which is fucking outrageous. Ash's car hasn't moved. Martin's car has rolled to this destination. I think it started the other day. So a little shop update. Ash's veil is on the hoist and the transmission is missing. The bands were slipping, so he sent that away to get rebuilt and just get fully done so there's no more issues with it and he can handle everything he can throw at it and just have no more issues. Because, I mean, before it goes to registration, whilst it's on the hoist, take the transmission out and get that shit done. If working on that VL wasn't enough, he's also managed to start working on another VL. This is a turbo wagon that he was doing some head work on. There's an engine for a Kia here, which Martin is doing. He's putting a new engine in a Kia. Everyone seems to be working on every car but their own. The Maloo, I'm not sure where that's at. The same part it was at months ago. I think it started the other day, so that's getting done. Gunny, Daniel has brought in his 1-tonner, ready to do that. Let me show you some cool things about the 1-tonner. So Daniel's brought that in. That's why we've got a third hoist. There's the hoist right there. So another hoist from center. The third hoist is going up and he's putting the 1-tonner on there. And look at this. He's already got replacement plenum and replacement parts and bloody hell, hey, look at this. He's also got this brand new exhaust. Look at that. Hey, all ready to go. So yeah, he's pretty much ready to just slap that stuff on. In saying that, it's definitely got some work that needs to be done to it. But I mean, structurally, it's nowhere near as bad as the old XA is. I mean, look at that. That little sill is still connected to the car. How crazy is that? There's, you know, the roof isn't partially missing. These doesn't look like it's been fiberglass. How fantastic. So, doesn't look too bad in there. Hey, I think he's won a bit with this one. So, there's another Spice Factory special. The 1 tonner build. Coming soon. But for now, let's have a little bit of a peeky. So, oh, that A-pillar looks pretty done to me. Oh, what's that? Is that primer? Has things been welded over there? I think they have. Ooh. So is that painted matte black? Ooh, matte black. Hey, fucking ready to go, ready for retro. So what we've done here is we've had to replace, I'm not sure if you can see the seam marks, but I've had to replace pretty much the top half of this kick panel. This was completely rusted out. I've replaced that. That is a perfect match for what used to be there, which I will find soon. This section here, this was just completely missing. This whole curve here was just gone. Wasn't even in existence. So I'm doing that this morning. I've had to use the slide hammer. This was all pushed in. It's like it'd been in an accident or something at some point in its life. This is all pushed in. So I cut a little section here to basically put a slide hammer in and bring that out. That is actually, like, you wouldn't believe how much better that is right now. That was pushed all the way in. And I've replaced that bottom section there, as you might be able to tell. That ran all the way around. This was completely gone. There was nothing there, which there is now things there. So this A-pillar is pretty much ready to go. I'm just going to finish off that little section there this morning, and we are good. so I ran out of gas for the welder. So right as I was doing the last little patch panel. So as you can see, still got to weld that bit up. But this little section here, this was all dinged in and completely cooked. So I cut that section out, and I was wondering why the welds were going all shitty. I've got a little bit of steel. As I was welding along here, it pulled this out and created a bit too much of a gap. So I've got that little bit of extra steel there. But right as I was welding that one in, ran out of gas, so I've called it there. But that kick panel's pretty much good to go. I've welded in a little patch in there and put some seam sealer down. Still yet to do this. Still yet to do this wall pan here. So hopefully it's just a bit of surface rust. I can just whisk that away and we'll be good to go. But this A-pillar, you can actually see where I've put that new patch in, where I haven't really matched it up perfectly, but that is all good to go. Same thing, I've used some seam sealer along here, and I've also just got some rust converter acting along there and inside all those little joins within there. So I'm just letting that rust converter do its thing. That's why it's not painted over. I haven't put that on yet to see if that matches up. This is where the entire video comes undone, and I realize it doesn't match up. But let's just give that a crack. Ooh, bloody hell. Right there. I've made sure to keep that mark there the whole time of where this basically came, and you can see the cut mark there anyway, so that gives it away. But that's pretty much bang on. Both A-pillars are done. You have no idea how happy I am about that. You probably do if you've done it before. You probably know exactly how happy I am, actually. So I've just got to finish doing this plenum here. But yeah, so tomorrow is West Coast Nats, and we'll be going to West Coast Nats, check out all the drifting, the burnouts, the cruising, and just generally having a bit of a good time. So yeah, that's enough of that. Let's go to West Coast Nats. So I'm just going to do a quick little transition here, and we'll cut to some sick West Coast Nats action. Hey! Stop watching burnouts. I just got more gas to the welder. Let's finish this A-pillar before the end of the episode. So the A-pillar's done. Got more gas and just thought I'd quickly add this in at the end. It's primed and it's all good to go. So happy with that. Now I can finally start on this little plenum. So it started to look like a car again, which is pretty cool. Still a long way to go, but I think those are the big bits done. And to give you a basic timeline, once that's stuck on and all welded, then the engine bay I can do. I'm really just wading through the shit of getting this done, just so I can get to the fun part, which is the engine bay, because I just really want to get the engine bay done, because that's a fun one to do. That's the end of this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you learned anything or if you just enjoyed me suffering through doing these A-pillars, give it a like, subscribe even, and hopefully I'm going to be getting these out weekly now. I've got a lot more time on my hands and can get a whole lot more stuff done and just pump out the content. So join us next week when we do the cowl and put that on and try and get that all schmicky-doo. I think I'm going to have to get a windshield first. That'll be the next step actually. I'm going to get a windshield and test fit that, because if the windshield doesn't really fit, or if there's a bit too much of a gap, I can still save this. I've got block and tackle. I can pull the pillars in a little bit more if need be, if they've warped through the welding and the repairs. So before I weld that section on, I'm going to test fit a windscreen. Once it's all smicky-doo. Now the way that sits there now, it says that it should line up, but just want to make sure. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the burnouts, and I'll catch you next time.